Let's take a look at the femur, the only bone in your thigh. This here is a plastic model of a left femur. Anterior aspect, proximal end, note the head of the femur, the neck of the femur, the lesser trochanter, and the greater trochanter. Looking at the head of the femur, you'll note the fovea capitis. The ligamentum teres attaches to the fovea capitis, the ligament of the head of the femur. Posterior aspect, proximal epiphysis of the femur. You'll note the intertrochanteric crest, a prominent ridge running from the lesser trochanter to the greater trochanter. Moving down the posterior shaft of the femur, you'll note the linea aspera. This is an important attachment site for thigh muscles. The distal epiphysis, note the lateral condyle and the medial condyle. Anterior aspect, note the patellar surface, as well as the medial epicondyle. Moving back up the femur, anterior aspect, proximal end, proximal epiphysis, greater trochanter, lesser trochanter. Between the two trochanters on the anterior aspect is the intertrochanteric line, not really visible on this plastic model. Patellar surface, medial epicondyle with the adductor tubercle. Posterior aspect, going up to the proximal end, neck of the femur, greater trochanter, lesser trochanter, intertrochanteric crest, moving down the shaft, the linea aspera, into the medial and lateral supracondylar lines. Here we see the lateral epicondyle on the lateral aspect. Note the patellar surface. Now let's have a look at another left femur. This one's real and it's quite weathered. The condyles are partially eroded. Note the patellar surface. Here we can see the intertrochanteric line quite well. This is why real bones are always best. All features are visible when they're not eroded. Head of the femur. Note the gluteal tuberosity. This is an important attachment site for muscles. The intertrochanteric crest, once again, running between the greater and lesser trochanters. Intertrochanteric crest, intertrochanteric line on the anterior aspect. You can see that gluteal tuberosity quite well. Important attachment site for muscles of the thigh, running down the linea aspera into the medial and lateral supracondylar lines. Intercondylar fossa, just a depression between the condyles, visible on the posterior aspect of the femur. And there you have it, a real femur.